part 1 of my dream series. Yesterday I had to leave work early because I was having a really bad migraine and I needed to go take some medicine, lay down in a dark room, and I've got this migraine cap that I put over that covers my eyes. Very helpful. I fell asleep. I feel like I probably went right into REM mode. So this dream is about my son who is going to prison. Well, he might be going to a mental health hospital, but nonetheless, we won't get into that. It's about my youngest son, and I thought this was very telling. I was worried that it might be a premonition, but it actually had a metaphorical meaning that he understood. Okay, so in the dream, I'm visiting my son quite frequently in the prison, and when I visit him, he's just outside the prison walls, and I didn't know that it was an area that he was not supposed to go to. This is the dream, okay? And it's this dark little square area, and it's got, like dark gray walls, these like cables hanging down, little tree branches sticking up, and the dirt is just black. And it's where he kind of went for his quiet time, and I thought that it was literally part of the prison, that like an outside area that, he was allowed to go to. So he's got a little, entryway that goes right into his cell. And that goes back and forth, and so he's not trying to escape or anything like that, right? So one day he's doing this by himself, and me as the dreamer, I'm watching in third person, watching it, not as if I'm visiting there. I'm watching. You know how dreams are; they're weird like that. Excuse me. And my son gets caught by the guards. So this turns out it's an area that he's not supposed to go to. They automatically think he's trying to escape, because just past this little area is a walkway that goes right out to the public. I mean, right past the fences, everything like that. But my son's not trying to escape. It's just an area that he likes, that he felt called to. And he had created himself a little gateway to get there and back. But he was going back to his cell. He would just only go there for like an hour each day and meditate. And that was his quiet space to get away from all the noise. And I thought, interesting little dream area. He wouldn't do something like that, but in real life. So anyway, the guards caught him and executed him on sight in my dream. And I go there after the fact as the mom, screaming and hollering, very angry. Why would you do that to him? Why wouldn't you ask him, what are you doing out here? Instead of just fucking killing him, why? Why would you do that? Aren't you a parent? Don't you have children? Don't you have a mother? Don't you have a fucking sense of humanity and dignity for a human being? He's not just an inmate, so on and so forth. Like, I fucking lost it. I threatened to kill everybody in the place. I mean, I lost it. And they were just so cold and callous towards me. They're like, we don't give a fuck. And I woke up right before I lit the place on fire. Now, he sent me a message on the portal while I was in that dream state. And it was really creepy how it kind of matched up with my dream. I'll show you. 1 is equated with nothing when positioned as prior to void. A negative implication would suggest that this results in the absence of existence. Another aspect to the eternal disposition of 1 in relation to the absolute involves applying a synthesis of the potential and actual, thus that which is to become is being, and in being is becoming. If 1 is the same as the void, then there is no intentional change. As for any progression to occur, an extension must be in effect for existence to develop. The void involves through the individual connection to itself by the means of affecting latent elements. My son is extremely intelligent and quite the philosopher. So if you didn't understand what that says, just look it up. But anyway, the interesting aspect of him talking about being in the void but still being in existence, was practical in that part of my dream, because his presence was still there. I could still feel his presence in my dream. I didn't mention that part of my dream. I guess I forgot to. But like while I was yelling at the guards in my dream, I could feel his presence around me. And I could feel his presence telling me to calm down. He's fine. His spirit is fine. Everything is good. And that now he's free. And so the irony of him sending me that message at the same time as I was actually in the dream state shows part of our mother-son bond, that spiritual connection that we have between each other as well. I thought, wow. And it's not the first time that we've had something like that happen, where I had a dream about him when he was 4 and I was visiting California and he was with my grandparents. And I had called him the next morning, from waking up, and told him I had a dream about him. And he said, "Thank you for coming to visit me, Mom." And he felt me there. So I feel like I kind of astral traveled. So anyway, there's part 1 of my dream series.